Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into another episode of the Switch It Up Show. I am one of your hosts here on Switch It Up. My name is Glenn. You can catch me over at From the Crib. They're on at Preachcast. And I'm actually switching up a little bit myself this episode. We're going to be joined in just a few short minutes by a very special guest, Mr. Fear Merchant. It's at The Fear Merchant over on Twitter. You can catch him. He's a special type of gentleman, runs a podcast of his own called The Bizarre Cast, where he interviews a bunch of different people in the horror community. So if you're into horror at all, he is your guy. Of course, that is after you listen to Tales from the Crypt. So you can definitely find his link to his Twitter over in the show notes. I'm going to place it in there for you. We've been in a little state of hecticness here at the Preach Network because Mr. Setrav and I have both been ill this week. Haven't really been feeling so well, not at the top of our game. So we decided after a few years of podcasting each and every single week that, you know what, we'd take it easy on ourselves. You probably catch us streaming a little bit of Friday the 13th over on our Twitch. In case you're wondering, our Twitch is just twitch.com/Preach Network, and you can watch us over there. It is double XP weekend currently, just a few hours left. Happy to get myself to level 18, but that's another story. What we are here to talk about is everything E3 related from Nintendo. So before I go ahead and turn it over to past Glenn, Seth, and Fear Merchant, you're gonna, I just wanted to take a brief moment to mention that, of course, the Switch It Up Show is brought to you in part by Atom Tickets. So if you're heading out to the movies this weekend or this upcoming week, be sure to use the promo code PREESHUS, PREESHUS, to save $5 off your total. If you're new to Atom Tickets, that's going to save you a few dollars, which is going to be great for all those upcoming new releases that are coming out this week for the Switch, which you'll hear about in just a few more days. Now we're back on track. We're feeling good here on the Preach Network. You're going to be treated to a new episode very, very shortly. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and roll right on into the show.
Thanks for coming on, Merchant. Thank you for being a part of the Switch It Up cast.
I know. I'm glad. I'm glad to be on the gaming show now. Even though I don't have a Switch, I'm still going to weigh in. Because I might even end up buying a Switch now after the show.
Yes.
Because Nintendo absolutely floored at E3.
Yeah, you definitely need to, sir.
So what were your guys' impressions? I'll let you lead the floor here.
Okay. So I absolutely feel like Nintendo won the show. That's not to say that Nintendo had the best. Yeah. So they had the best presentation. I was the most excited about their things. But Nintendo only really showed us stuff that's either no idea of a date coming out or is pretty much all coming out in 2018, with the exception of, say, Mario Odyssey. I love the fact that they're going to do the Pokemon RPG, the true Pokemon game on the Switch. So people have been clamoring for years, a true Pokemon RPG on a console. And because the Switch is so much like a mobile console and a home console, I feel like this is the perfect time to do it, and they're doing it finally.
No, I think that's great, man, and I'm super excited for it. But I mean, like you said, this is something that, you know, they announced and there's no date attached to it. They're just working.
They're not. The guy was like, probably going to take more than a year. So we'll get it eventually. I'm thinking 2019, Christmas 2019, we'll get Pokemon.
So I mean,
we've just been waiting 22 years for that game.
Yeah,
yeah, man. We really have.
I feel like if you can wait 22, you can certainly wait 24, right?
Oh yeah, buddy.
But I mean, this isn't the first thing that they did. They also did the same thing, and they went ahead and announced that they're working on Metroid Prime 4, which is awesome.
That gave me chills watching that teaser. Just the music, I was like, I can't breathe.
Right?
Yeah, but
I love those games.
Those games are awesome. But I feel like that trailer is a perfect example of kind of like how, like, I don't know, how stupid we can be sometimes.
Absolutely.
Because they don't show you anything.
Not
they
a
show
thing.
you.
It's
They
literally
play.
words and a number.
They play, exactly. They play the
And it's like
music,
pre-order now.
and they yeah.
Yeah.
Give me your money.
And then they show you the number 4, and everybody lost their minds. And all they did was say, "Yeah, we're working on development." That could literally be that like 6 people got in a room and they were like, "You want to do Metroid?" Yeah. They're like, "Okay, we're working on it now." Okay.
We're dusting it off. Don't worry. We opened up the closet that it's in.
So like it's cool that like they're working on it, and Nintendo does have a really good track record of when they say that like we're gonna work on this, it's coming out on this console, that you'll actually get it, because we were able to get Twilight Princess on GameCube, and we still got Breath of the Wild on Wii U, so I'm sure we'll get this on Switch, but who knows like when it's gonna be, and that's my
Mhm.
my
I
biggest problem.
I think I was the only person in Ireland that got Twilight Princess on the GameCube.
Yeah, man, that's right. The preferred console to play it on. I love that controller.
They're still going. They're still going for about €80. The Twilight Princess on GameCube.
Oh my,
Really?
Oh my gosh! I'm gonna have to go over there and sell it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ridiculous. I am
So I was also super stoked to see that they're coming out with another Kirby game. I just want to throw that out there. I love Kirby. I think Kirby is super cool. Sometime in 2018, we're getting Kirby, but I think it's awesome. Looks like he's got a bunch more powers. It looks like his friends are coming around with him again. Like he's got some pals to go around with. I used to love the Kirby's Dream Land 2, where you were like the owl and the gerbil or whatever. Cool things out of Kirby. And this time it looks like he's got a sword that also powers up.
yeah. I never kind of got Kirby because it is quite fun, but there seems to be like no challenge in the games. They're really for kids, aren't they?
More or less. They're fun. They're fun times. Like I have a great time with it. Same with the Yoshi game that's going to be coming out. It looks exactly like it should for a Yoshi game. Straight off of the N64, a complete remake.
Oh yeah. That's cool.
Which also,
Yeah,
2018. Who knows when that's going to be?
Yeah. Although I mean, I was talking,
Yeah,
I was talking it out earlier, and I'm like, even though I'm kind of angry that some of the stuff isn't coming out this year, when you think about it, the Switch really hasn't been out that long. It's only been out since March, so it's made it like
It's 4 months old.
about like not even 3. So only like 3 months old, and in those 3 months, we've got Zelda, we've had Mario Kart, we have ARMS coming out this week, we have Splatoon next month. And then in just a couple months after that, we'll have Super Mario Odyssey. Then we'll have Xenoblade, in December. So we're getting a lot of stuff. It's just, I don't know. I feel like since the demand for the Switch is so intense, the demand for like games and software is super intense. So people just want stuff and they want it right away.
Yeah,
Exactly.
no, I felt that like Nintendo usually doesn't do like the really out in the distant teaser stuff. So I felt that was like a bit of a departure. Because remember last year they literally only had Skyward Sword, and that was their whole booth. Was that E3 last year? I think it was, wasn't it?
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild.
Right, Breath of the Wild, yeah. And yeah, they just had that as they banked on that, but man, did it pay off.
It certainly
Yeah.
did. You're absolutely correct, sir.
Yeah, I got to play it at my buddy's house, and I was just like, I wish I could buy a Switch.
You gotta find one, man. I still find myself playing it. The expansion pass, the first season or first DLC content comes out at the end of the month, and it looks like it's gonna suck up my life again.
Yeah, but to have hard mode as paid DLC was a bit rich, and also your they call it like Hero's Path or something. Your 200 hours of foot traffic is through tracks and stuff.
You get the hard mode. You get the trial, the Master's Trial, which I think is 100 levels, where you just try and kill enemies. You start with nothing. I think you literally start in underpants, and then you also get a bunch more costumes, bunch more masks, bunch more suits, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's not bad, but definitely paying for hard mode
Yeah.
is a bit hard to swallow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got the season pass. Bundle all that together.
No, I mean, it makes sense. But I mean, like, I don't
Came
know.
with the Switch I got.
Oh yeah, well, I can't complain about that, man. That's a good
Exactly.
deal. But I mean, I hear you, because I mean that is to go to do hard mode after that and have to pay for it. A little bit rough, but not to mention it's not a short game. So like it's like who has time to go through and play it all again, like with even more difficulty. I'm like, there's other stuff out there I feel like I want to play, like
I couldn't be doing
like
that.
Rocket League,
and they don't have trophies for Zelda.
Not yet.
That's my gripe still about the Switch, is that there's no like trophies or medals or anything like that.
Yeah, but the hard mode also doesn't look like it's scaled in any like nice way. It's just like, oh, all the enemies are just a high level. It's like, all right, it's not like remember the Master's Quest for Ocarina of Time.
Mm-hmm.
Just like all just switched around and stuff.
Yeah,
but it wasn't exactly like harder in that enemies had more hit points. It was just the puzzles were switched around and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they could have done something like that, just like a remix version. Would have actually probably been worth the money, as opposed to just here's a switch, a switch on the Switch.
There it is.
To put up the enemies levels, like this is just a bit cheap.
I dig it. Now, how do you feel about Mario Odyssey, though? We got to talk about the big guy, the main squeeze of Nintendo.
That is what's going to definitely push me to probably get a Switch, because I nearly fell off my chair when I saw it. It looks like it captures what a Mario game should be, which is basically open world and tons of fun with some new mechanic.
Yeah, this hat business. You can be like anything. You can be a tree if you want.
It seems like you possess stuff.
Yeah. Wild. You could be a T-Rex. They showed you with T-Rex with Mario's hat and a mustache.
Yeah, it kind of looks weird that they're like putting the real life people and stuff. Does that mean that Mario isn't a human? How does it work?
Blowing my mind here.
But then it's also New Donk City. So is that like Donkey Kong City or something? Oh, it's opening up a can of worms here, guys.
It is, man. We're going to have to check into this super in-depth storyline regarding the
can we just
Super
say
Mario Odyssey.
Bowser looks like an absolute pimp. I don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. Pure white suit, right? White tux.
And jewels.
Yeah.
And I think, is he trying to marry Peach? I saw like a piranha plant bouquet.
Seems like this time he might be trying to wed her, as opposed to whatever he was doing all the other times he kidnapped her.
I mean, he saved her.
Premarital activity.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that looks amazing. I think it will. Just running around the city alone as Mario, I'd say it'll be quite fun.
Nah, I think it'll be good. I think it's a Mario game we've been waiting for a while. Although I did like Super Mario 3D World on Wii U. I thought that was really good.
Yeah, no, they all look fun. I kind of missed the Wii U, you see. I was part of the reason why it failed. I didn't buy it.
I didn't get one on
don't put that blame on yourself, man. There's a lot of people. I'm one of the few. But I did enjoy it. That was a good game. And to be able to have another 3D Mario is great, because I wasn't really too into it when they did like the new Super Mario Brothers and it was all like 2D. I do like a lot of side scrollers, but I grew up on Nintendo 64 and Mario 64, so to be able to play these again, like this is what I want. It's where I want to be.
Yeah, as far as that, that's where Mario needs to be.
Have you
full
guys
open world?
Have you guys had a chance? Because the last thing that they kind of like, one of the last things they announced is that they're going to be doing Rocket League on the Switch, which I'm super excited about because that game is a lot of fun. And I think on the Switch and handheld, it'll be great. And it has crossplay.
Are you going to get back into it?
Yeah.
Well, I actually... And who wants to chat about Rocket League first so we don't cut across?
There you go. You got it.
Yeah, no, crossplay is great because I know... is it Harmonix or Cymonix? What's the name of the company?
I think it's Harmonix.
They really wanted to do the crossplay first day with, Xbox, PS4, and I think they ended up doing that, didn't they?
They did, and PC, I believe.
It's great now that the Switch is getting in there. It's such a fun game. Lots like it's kind of a skill curve, but also a bit random.
It is. It's a lot of fun. Soccer with demolition cars. Like I know I spent actual money on it at one point because I wanted the Back to the Future car.
Yeah, I did too.
we spent so much time playing Rocket League for so long. Like I was like, it felt like they earned my money, so I was more than happy to give them a little extra just for the fact that they put in the Back to the Future car. And now they're partnering up with like WWE for some reason.
Yeah, it's super strange.
I don't know what they're gonna get. I don't know what could like happen now. It doesn't make much sense to me. I hope they're the cars from WWE Crush Hour though.
You're gonna have like the Undertaker's like themed car. And it's gonna be like skulls and stuff and tombstones.
Oh yeah, that's it. You could drive around in his hearse.
That's it. And that'll be it, man.
Jeez, that's like a match made in heaven for you guys.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if it was anything like the pricing for that, will probably be like, I don't know, like $15 or something. Like, because Rocket League was never like super expensive, and at the time when I think Seth, when you and I got it, it was free on PSN. So I mean, that was crazy value. I don't think they expected it to be as big as it was, and it is a little bit of luck. But the people who are good at Rocket League are really, really good. Like it does well on Twitch. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, when I see some of the gifs that come out, I'm just like, fuck's sake, this is why I don't play the game anymore.
Yeah, the stuff that
Exactly.
people can pull off is just nuts.
And what did we actually think about Mario and rabbits? That looks like a kind of a XCOM or something.
It looks weird. It looks like it's going to be an interesting play style. Like it's kind of a turn-based grid style RPG a little bit.
Yeah, it was a bit of a strange one, especially given the rabbits kind of IP. That is like some block turn-based kind of strategy thing. Looks like Advance Wars or something.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. I liked Advance Wars though. I was a big fan.
Yeah, it was very cool.
That's how Desiga plays. Desiga 5. If you check out previous episodes of the Switch It Upcast, you'll be able to hear a review.
Yes. Are you talking to me or the audience?
Talking to everybody.
Both.
Everybody.
Both.
No.
You go ahead. You download that yourself. That's free.
No. Okay.
I was a little bummed though that we didn't get to hear about the virtual console. I really thought Nintendo was going to talk about like when that was going to launch and what was going on, but for some reason they didn't say anything about it. Because I really feel like they're just sitting on a gold mine. They could just open it with some of the most basic stuff. But I'd really like to see like a virtual console packed with like all the classics, and I also want to start seeing some GameCube and some Wii stuff on there. So I want to be able to kind of consolidate a little bit and just like have the Switch be like my main Nintendo machine, like run all the things and let me take them everywhere.
That's a dream, man.
But I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll hear
know.
something about it, like a Nintendo Direct, or like you think they'll kind of just like one day it'll just appear?
Well, it was a bit weird that they're like giving teasers for stuff that's so far out, but they wouldn't mention anything about the virtual console. It was a bit odd.
It's supposed to be coming out, what, at the end of this month? June?
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe it'll just appear in an update.
It-
You know, God willing.
yeah, but it seems like they're not really pushing it too hard, so it might not be a big deal for them. Where it's, I guess, like a bigger deal for other people. So I wouldn't be surprised if it kind of just like they're just like, oh, and this update brings the virtual console. But like, I feel like that's a huge deal. But I don't know. Maybe I'm alone.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to stick with our actual physical consoles, not the virtual ones now.
That's fair.
Play our favorite games.
Cool, guys. So you guys think hands down it was Nintendo that was able to kind of pull ahead of the other two?
I wouldn't say hands down, but they certainly had the best games on show. Like there was a lot of rehash on the PlayStation and Microsoft front, like, oh, here's an expansion pass for this old game. Here's the same game that we showcased last year, now getting a demo. Here's a 6-year-old game called Skyrim.
Exactly.
That's
I
true.
think Nintendo probably
Here's
pulled it
Nintendo.
out.
Yeah, I'm gonna reluctantly agree. I feel like they did they did kind of like generate the most excitement, but to be fair, a lot of stuff not coming out until like next year or doesn't have a date at all. So I feel like they kind of played it safe a little bit and like bet on like the future, not so much for like the now from Nintendo. But I still gotta say I do think they won for sure.
Agreed.
Yes, agreed.
100%. Let us know what you think, ladies and gentlemen, over on Twitter at Preachcast or at Seth Trav or at From the Crib or at Fear Merchant. Or is it the Fear Merchant?
The Fear Merchant.
The Fear Merchant.
The one and only.
The definitive Fear Merchant.
The definitive Fear Merchant. We want to thank you all for stopping by. And remember, everybody, this has been episode 60 of the Preachcast. And to always practice what you preach.